Sahara.
Hi Dimey, welcome back to my channel. Have you ever wondered, will you ever get married? Well, let's talk about that. First, you need to find what is your 7th house lord. This is your 7th house and the sign of your 7th house, which is Scorpio, so the house lord is Mars. Look at the number of your 7th house in your birth chart and look at this to find your sign and your 7th house lord. Now you gotta find where your 7th house lord is placed in your birth chart. For example, the 7th house lord is Mars and Mars is placed in the 7th house lord itself. Now, if you have your 7th house lord in those favorable houses, there's a highly chances for you to get married. And for those who's with the unfavorable houses, it's not that you're not gonna get married, it's just that your road to getting married is a bit challenging. If you have one of these malefic planets in your 7th house, you might be getting married a little bit later in life, or have a challenging marriage, or will not get married at all. Of course, you need to know the aspects on 7th house, conjunction, opposition, square, trine, sextile to predict it accurately. This video will only show you some signs, the basic signs for you to know if you're gonna get married late or gonna get married at all. If you have the benefic planets in your 7th house, for example, if your 7th house lord is Venus and it is in conjunct with Jupiter, then marriage could be very, very favorable for you. Maybe it's easy for you to find your future spouse, it's easy for you to find your soulmate. And maybe it's not just that, maybe when you get married you will be rich. But if let's say your 7th house lord is in conjunct with Mars or in opposition to Mars, then your marriage life could be quarrelsome, aggressive. It may even lead to divorce. But it could also be that your spouse and you fight a lot in your marriage. For women, to know about your marriage and your husband, you have to look at your Jupiter. So for those who have Jupiter in the sign of Virgo, Gemini, or Capricorn, that is the unfavorable sign for Jupiter, and you might get married a bit later in life. If you have Jupiter in that signs, you might realize that you still can't find love up until now. It is very challenging for you to find your soulmate, for you to find your future spouse. Or maybe you have this feeling of you just don't want to get married at all. If you have your Jupiter in the sign of Pisces, Sagittarius, or Cancer, it is considered as a favorable placement for Jupiter to be in. If you have this placement, you might realize that you have found your soulmate or you are on the road of getting married already now. For men, when it comes to marriage and wife, you have to look at Venus. So if your Venus is in the sign of Scorpio, Aries, or Virgo, it is considered unfavorable for you. You have this placement, you might realize that it is very hard for you to find love. Or maybe you were almost getting married, but then it got cancelled. Anything related to marriage, related to getting married, is very challenging for you. And maybe it's very hard for you to find a soulmate. On the other hand, if you have your Jupiter in Pisces or Libra or Taurus, your spouse could be very beautiful. And it's easy for you to find a soulmate. It's easy for you to get married. If you have this placement, you might realize that you are already in a serious relationship. Time to go, Dimey. Hope to see you soon on my next video. Subscribe, like, and share if you like this video. Thank you for being with me, Dimey. Till we meet again. Ta-ta!